Have you ever noticed that the loudest, most aggressively confident people in the room are almost always the ones standing on the thinnest ice, while you sit there in silence, utterly paralyzed by the secret terror that you are somehow a fraud? Before we wade deeper into these quiet, shadowed waters of the mind, I want to gently invite you to subscribe to the Psyche unfolding, so we can always find our way back to each other when the noise of the world becomes too much to bear. Let us talk about that heavy, suffocating weight you carry inside your chest. Because I know the exact pain you are experiencing, you pour your heart, your time, and your entire soul into understanding something. You read, you observe, you practice until your hands are tired, and your eyes ache from the strain, and yet, the more you look into your chosen subject, the more terrifyingly vast it becomes. It is as if you are walking into a dense, endless forest at twilight. With every single step you take away from the safe, familiar edge, the trees grow taller, the shadows stretch longer, and the clear path behind you disappears into the mist. You look around at the sheer magnitude of what you do not know, and a cold, sinking dread settles deep in your stomach. You tell yourself that your knowledge is nothing. You convince yourself that everyone else has it all figured out, that they are navigating these dark woods with a perfect map and a brilliant lantern, while you are just stumbling blindly, waiting for the devastating moment when you will be exposed as an imposter. And the most agonizing part of this silent suffering is looking back toward the edge of the woods and seeing the beginners. But finally standing still, the people who have barely taken 2 steps into the trees, they are standing there in the bright, shallow sunlight, shouting at the top of their lungs about how they have completely conquered the wilderness. They have looked at a single leaf and claimed total mastery over the entire forest. Their confidence is blinding. It is absolute, and it is completely, tragically hollow. Why does this discrepancy hurt you so much? It hurts because you watch them march forward, completely unaware of the hidden traps, the sheer cliffs, and the deep ravines that lie just a few meters ahead of them. You watch them receive praise, gather an audience, and march through life with a terrifying, unearned certainty, while you sit in the quiet dark, paralyzed by your own deep awareness. You wonder if you are broken inside. You wonder if your intelligence and your dedication are actually a terrible curse. This contrast creates a deep, aching anxiety that never truly leaves you alone. It makes you want to shrink down, to hide your careful work, to silence your own voice before someone else can tear it apart. You feel like a ghost in a reality that constantly rewards loud, reckless ignorance. Think about the way they build their lives, compared to how you build yours. The person who knows nothing will build a flimsy shack out of mud and wet straw in 3 days. And then they will shout to the heavens that they are a master architect. They will invite everyone to admire their fragile creation, oblivious to the fact that the first strong wind will tear it to pieces. But you do not build like that. You spend weeks just testing the soil. You spend months laying a foundation of solid, heavy stone that reaches 10 meters into the earth, terrified that a single microscopic miscalculation will bring the entire structure crashing down. You carry this invisible, crushing backpack filled with heavy stones of doubt, adding another massive rock to your load every time you discover a new nuance, a new layer of complexity that the loud ones simply ignore. You are drowning in the deep, turbulent waters of your own competence, while they are happily splashing in the shallow puddles on the shore, genuinely believing they are commanding the great tides. But I need you to listen to me very carefully right now. I need you to step out of that bitter, cold wind of self-doubt for a moment and come sit by the fire with me. I have watched the architecture of human thought navigate this exact terrain for a very long time, and I want to tell you a secret that will fundamentally change the way you see yourself forever. This agonizing gap between their loud certainty and your quiet, in your character, is not a flaw in your character. It is not a sign of your inadequacy or your weakness. It is a fundamental mechanical illusion of human perception. It is simply a trick of the light. When a person knows absolutely nothing about a landscape, they do not even possess the necessary vocabulary to understand their own ignorance. They are locked inside a tiny, completely windowless room. Because they can reach out and touch all four walls, they falsely assume they have mapped the entire universe. Their immense confidence is not born of mastery. Their confidence is born entirely of blindness. They literally cannot see the massive mountain of complexity that looms just outside their heavy door, so they puff up their chests. They speak in bold absolutes. They possess a dangerous, brittle courage that will eventually shatter the moment it hits harsh reality. But until that moment comes, they appear completely invincible to the outside world. But you are entirely different. You have broken down the door of that tiny room. You have stepped outside into the biting, expansive air. You have climbed the first steep hill, and because you have done the hard, grueling work of elevating yourself, you can finally see the true horizon. You can see the hundreds of jagged peaks stretching out for thousands of kilometers into the distance. You can see the endless, turbulent oceans of nuance and intricate detail that still await you. When you look at a subject from the outside, it looks like a smooth, flat surface. It looks so wonderfully easy. But when you get closer, when you truly dedicate yourself to seeing, you notice the deep cracks, the rough textures, the endless intersecting lines. You realize it is not a flat surface at all, but a massive, incredibly intricate clockwork mechanism with millions of tiny, moving gears. The ignorant person only sees the smooth, shiny case from a far distance. You have painstakingly opened the watch, and you are staring straight into the terrifying, beautiful complexity inside. The fear you feel, the doubt that keeps you awake in the middle of the quiet night, is not the feeling of failure, it is the vertigo of ascending. It is the dizzying, breathtaking shock of finally realizing exactly how immense the world truly is. Your doubt is the ultimate, undeniable proof of your competence. Only a mind that has truly stretched itself, only a soul that has bravely ventured into the deep waters, has the capacity to feel this specific, heavy kind of terror. The shallow waters do not hold sea monsters, but they also do not hold sunken treasure. You are out in the deep, and yes, the dark waves are much higher here. The night feels so much darker here, but this is the exact place where the real, meaningful journey happens. The absolute, unwavering certainty of the beginner is a comfortable, childish lie. The anxious humility of the master is a beautiful, deeply difficult truth. I want you to take a slow, deep breath right now. Imagine that heavy, rough canvas backpack filled with heavy stones, the one holding all your imposter syndrome, your endless apologies for not knowing every single answer, your quiet, burning shame. I want you to truly feel its immense weight digging into your tired shoulders. Feel how much energy it has cost you to carry it for all these years. And then I want you to just let the strap slide off your arms. Let it fall to the ground with a heavy, satisfying thud. Step away from it. You do not have to carry it anymore. You never actually had to. From this exact moment forward, when you hear the deafening roar of the arrogant and the uninformed, you will no longer feel a sharp pang of inadequacy. You will hear their noise for what it truly is. You will recognize it as the sound of a frightened child whistling in the dark to pretend they are not afraid of the shadows. You will look at them with a gentle, silent compassion, because you know they are still locked inside that tiny, windowless room, completely unaware of the magnificent but terrifying universe waiting outside. If this gentle realization has brought a sliver of warm light into your day, if you feel even just a fraction lighter as we sit here together in the quiet, I ask you to subscribe to the Psyche unfolding. We have so many more beautiful, complex landscapes to explore, and I would be deeply honored to walk alongside you as you discover them. When you look at yourself in the mirror tomorrow, you will no longer see a fraud staring back at you. You will see a dedicated traveler. You will see someone brave enough to stand on the very edge of the vast unknown and admit, without a single drop of shame, that there is still so much left to learn. That pure admission is never a weakness. It is the absolute source of your true power. It keeps your eyes wide open to the beauty of the world. It keeps your mind flexible and receptive. It makes you a careful, beautiful observer of life. The masters of this world, the true, quiet guardians of craft and care, are never the ones screaming from the center of the square. They are the ones quietly studying the shadows, forever curious, forever humbled by the vastness of the journey you belong among them. The night is perfectly quiet now. The raging storm of anxiety in your chest has finally begun to settle into a steady, rhythmic calm. You do not need to possess all the answers. The universe is far too grand, far too mysterious for any one person to hold it entirely in their hands. Your only true task is to keep walking, to keep wondering, and to let your profound doubt be the gentle lantern that lights your path forward. You are doing so much better than you think. You are not lost in the dark. You are simply finally awake. Sleep well. Let go of the tension in your jaw, and let the peace of knowing you are exactly where you need to be wash over you, like a warm, gentle tide.